Welcome to the Jammed Live Podcast, featuring three amazing dudes that know a lot about football.
And we're back after the late night Draftsplosion. What stands out most to you, Doug, about the draft? What calls to Doug as, holy shit, I can't believe that happened?
Are you really asking me that?
Yeah. For my first draft, a lot of it was a holy shit moment for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I didn't even think that. I wish I could go back to when I first watched the draft. See what it felt like.
Shador falling to
5th round.
like what? Like the quarterbacks that came off before him were like,
Yeah, we had Giants trade back up. Take Jackson Dart.
which I like. I
Then
like.
we have here, this one kills me. Tyler Shuck. So, and I know you guys don't follow college football, but how long was he in college for, Doug?
1 year.
He was in
Was that
college for like 7 years.
Oh, so he was like a super senior.
Yeah, he would due to COVID. You had some COVID years. You could,
I didn't even know that was a
keep
thing.
your eligibility. So he's coming out as like a 26-year-old rookie. No one even knows. I mean, obviously analysts and all those people know, but your average fan probably doesn't even know what college he went to. And they drafted him before, I think in a lot of people's eyes, the more talented quarterback, Shador Sanders, because he had a bad interview. And that actually upsets me too. And I'm not going to say what they did because, this show isn't about digging into that kind of stuff. But we're willing to draft other players who have maybe some domestic violence issues,
Oh, there you go.
maybe some assault and battery issues.
Here's the thing, it all factors in, though. It all factors in when it comes to the picks. I would imagine that, it's all accountability. Right?
It is, but you have those kind of issues on people, and we're not going to draft Shador because he wasn't super involved in the interview, I guess. So there was a story actually about Deion Sanders.
Mhm.
I forget who the team was. I want to say it was maybe the Giants or something. And he goes in, and they have this like 100-page playbook that I guess they had sent him. And maybe it's not 100 pages, maybe it's 20.
Right. I know what you're saying.
But they brought him in and they were like, "Did you go over this? What are your thoughts on it?" And he said, "When do you guys draft?" And they said, "Oh, we're 12. I don't remember the position." And he said, "I'm not going to be there when you guys pick, so this interview's over."
Wait, hold on. Who said that?
That was Deion.
Deion. Oh, man.
Do you think, honestly, that teams, owners, the NFL just said, we're not doing it?
It feels like it to me.
I mean, how do you listen? Is he the next Tom Brady? I doubtful, right?
Yeah.
But could he be
Better than Dylan
a
Gabriel?
Roethlisberger who is going to get you stats and get you the playoffs most of your time? Like, yeah, I think he has that talent.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
and
You
maybe
don't
not
know, though.
Super Bowl winning Roethlisberger, but he could be a guy that you don't need a quarterback.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to have the package, and you know what I mean by the package, right? Like, his son's going there. Well, Deion's going to be part of that. He's going to have say. I don't know if that's the case. I love Deion as a player.
I love him
me
as a
too.
coach.
So,
Me too.
So,
But even Deion,
I'm
he
saying-
was hard to handle
yeah,
at
but
times.
I'm saying as a parent, it's almost like he's trying to get his hands into something where he should just. I think if he let it go, Shador goes in the first round,
I think, you know how parents...
or at least the second round. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like he doesn't go in the fifth round.
Yeah.
Anyhow, go ahead, Donnie.
I'm just saying that how, and Deion, I can only imagine, the business sense that he has and the amount of, he knows owners and, all this. He's got all this knowledge that he talks about. I saw an interview where he was talking about, like, he knows all the ins and outs, but, I think him being a passionate, maybe a too much passionate parent, that can be annoying. He gets in the way sometimes because of the things he says and the things that he does, I think he might deter some teams away, and it might be a black eye on just that kind of relationship, because that, we might have to deal with that attitude,
Here's why I don't think that's an issue, is Eli Manning went in the first round, and they had the same issue. He's like, I'm not playing for, I think it was Cleveland, drafted him. I can't remember. No, the Chargers. The Chargers drafted him. And he said, I'm not playing here. And they traded him. He still went in the first round, and that was because he was a Manning, because his brother was amazing, because his dad was amazing. Now we have this young kid. It does feel, and I'm not a conspiracy guy usually, but it feels like they wanted to make a point. Don't come in here brash. Don't come in here with this, big head and think that you control where you're going to go. So we still own the league.
Yeah, I personally feel that way.
It couldn't it be like different years, different needs? Like, didn't the Giants just really, really need a quarterback?
They needed more than that, but yes.
Because it seems like this year, was there a team in the first round that they just you knew they were absolutely just going for a quarterback in the first round? They needed one.
Yeah, and that brings us around the Titans quarterback that no one's really even talking about in the draft. So that brings us to
yeah. So how about them Bronco picks? I mean, I'm really excited about it. What do you think about that, Adam?
So I can't believe you guys didn't take a running back or trade for a running back or even be interested in a running back in the first round.
Did. We just
in the first round.
Yeah. I mean,
and there were plenty of running backs there.
Yeah,
like talented running backs.
All but what? The first was off the. Only the first one was off the board yet when they drafted. I think
Genty was the only one off the board at 6, and then they got the pick. Denver got the pick at 20th, and to give you an idea, at 22, Hampton came off the board, and it wasn't until the second round. Hold on, let me just tell you who the next one was. And then
I think
Judkins come off.
Yep.
From Ohio State, and then Trevion Henderson came off.
Yeah, so they were even in the second round, but the Broncos decide on who, Donnie?
Well, I thought they were going to go. What's his name? Omari, I call him. It's
Marion Hampton.
Yeah, Marion Hampton. I call him Omari just because it's cool. I think it's a cool way to say his name. But anyway, I was really surprised. I wanted him.
Yeah,
I wanted him as a big back that just maybe kind of reminds me of the just the take one cut and mow them down kind of running back, and ended up going with R.J. Harvey.
In the 5th, something like that, 3rd, can't remember.
No, second round.
Oh,
second
round.
Second round. I think their 20th pick, right, Doug?
First
pick 28.
Pick 28, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but R.J. Harvey, I'm very excited. Here's the thing, and I'm just reminded this, so because I get very passionate about, very excited. Like this is Deion Sanders about my team right now.
All right.
In an irritating way, so don't hate me. No, but you want who you want, and then when you don't get them, you're a little sad about it. But you never really know what they're going to bring to the table when the games are hitting. You just don't know. Some players, it takes a little while to ease in and kind of get their stride. And I think what I'm really happy about RJ is that Harvey is known to be a back out of the backfield that is very good with his hands. And even though he's a smaller back than Omari,
super elusive, but
really gets around.
They were saying like a Jones-Drew style player, low center of gravity, still strong, very elusive back. It's not a bad back. I think for me, I'm going to try to take a flyer on him late in a fantasy draft. I think he's going to be productive with Sean Payton. So, however, did anyone see corner for the Broncos? Even the big time analysts. I don't think anyone predicted they were taking a cornerback.
Why with
Yeah.
the free agents that they signed, right? Still a thorn in my side, but why? Why with that? I mean, you finished fifth in overall in defense last year, and then you pick up two stellar, at least one outstanding defensive
Linebacker,
player, right? Who is going to help lead that defense. So you're stacked in defense. You're probably going to have the number 1 and number 2 defense in the league this year, and you go for a cornerback.
Well, I'm so excited about him, though.
Yeah.
I can't believe they did it. First round cornerback. But that's, last year watching not all the Broncos games because of my situation, with the not having the NFL ticket. The games that I did watch, the defense really stepped it up and did good, but it seemed like they were a gambling defense. They also gave up a lot of yards that they shouldn't have in the backfield. Particularly in passing. So I'm excited for this year defensively. I think that we're stacked, and obviously a cornerback in the first round was more important somehow, some way. I didn't see that coming, but they did it.
I think you guys are going to have the number 1 defense this year.
Yeah, they're going
After
to.
that, I think.
Yeah,
Before that.
I just hope we have an offense that could beat up some teams. That's all.
Well,
last year we couldn't do it.
I mean, RJ Harvey is a help, but they didn't do a ton to help him. They got you guys a receiver in the 4th round, maybe. I didn't review their whole class, but they didn't really get you guys. And I could see them have made that decision in the first round.
Pat
bring in
Byron,
a receiver.
actually, 3rd round it was.
Yeah, he's a hands guy. He's not a big play guy.
He better be handsy, okay?
Well,
he's a wide receiver.
Yeah, so you guys took Barron in the first round, and in the second round you got Harvey. And in the third round you got Pat Bryant from Illinois. He's a wide out. And then you took 2 edge rushers, Jones and Robinson. Robinson, I think, might be pretty good for you again. But then you took a punter and a tight end. So that's your draft. Again, I
didn't see it coming.
I didn't see a cornerback. I mean, maybe Harvey's going to be the guy. It's funny the way we talk about Harvey all the time, but
that's what I say.
Maybe Harvey's going to be the guy.
Harley. Remember I called Barkley Harley half of the year.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they took Harvey, is because
you willed it into.
I willed it into the Broncos dome. Give him what he wants.
And then
he might work out amazing. That's the thing about this, is that you just don't know who's going to do what. And those late rounders sometimes, even though he went in the second round, but sometimes you find somebody amazing that just steps up and just turns the whole team upside down just by making amazing play after amazing play. So you never know.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a team who I thought was really going to go after some offensive players there in those Falcons. And what did they end up doing, Adam?
I actually didn't think they were going to go offense, at least not in the first round. So I don't know what they would need offensively.
Or the third. Hey, did they get anybody in offense?
I don't think they need it.
But did they take one pick?
They took a tackle, maybe a swing tackle, Jack Nelson out of Nebraska in the very last round.
7th round, yeah.
But so it comes down to pick 15. And I've had some time to reflect on this, because if you guys remember, I was absolutely snapping. I wanted Malachi Starks. But I've had some time to think on it. So I think I feel better now. A lot of people thought the Panthers are taking Jalen Walker. First of all, he's from Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So, second of all, they need a pass rush. Nobody, I thought they were taking a wide receiver. So, that's what they took, right? I'd have to relook. Yeah, wide receiver, Ted McMillan. So, then it gets to us, and I think our draft room is going, Jalen Walker's still here. I think they like James Pierce then, thinking that Jalen Walker is going to be gone. Super productive guy. He has some measurables that would compare him to Javon Curse as far as, his explosiveness. And I think they were completely set on, okay, we're taking him. We interviewed him. His off-the-field stuff's not going to be an issue for us. They say he's one of those guys that first one to leave the locker room at night, last one in the morning. So they think they can correct those work habits that potentially are holding him back. Because even with having that work ethic, he's still destroying left tackles. So they get there and they're like, oh my God, Jalen Walker's still here. What do we do? And if you remember, it took them all the way down to like 30 seconds left to make the pick. And I think they said, we got to take Jalen Walker. He's from Georgia. He's an animal. We can move him around the defense. He's going to be a great chess piece for us. And they took him. And then no one's taken James Pierce. No one's taken James Pierce. And on their board, he's the 15th best guy. So it gets to the back end of the round. And
The trade is in.
so the Eagles were trying to trade up. Have you heard this yet? So the Eagles are trying to trade up. Atlanta makes the trade. The Eagles draft room finds out about it, and the GM from the Eagles, I can't remember what his name is. Anyway, great GM, makes a ton of trades, makes a ton of great moves for that roster. He goes, what'd they trade? And they're like, they gave a first next year. And he goes, well, now I guess we know why people are taking our trades. Kind of shitting on the Falcons a little bit for giving up that first.
Yeah.
So anyway, we trade back in, and I wanted Malachi Stark so bad, and we take James Pierce. And I've watched a ton of footage on him, and I think he's absolutely a dude.
You know, he had the fastest 10-yard split.
So his get-off is insane.
Yeah, 1.56, 10 yards.
So he's an athletic freak. He looks like one if you see him.
Is that a thing that people say?
What?
His get off is insane.
I don't know. I say it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, he gets off like really quick. Here's my thoughts. It being my first draft and all, is that when a team gets so locked in on needing like all defense or something, it reminds me of like when I go to the grocery store and I get like all tunnel focused on like one aisle, and I just blow all my money in the fruit section. And then I get home and I'm like, what the hell am I doing with all this freaking fruit? It's like I don't even eat grapefruit.
So
Normally it's just strawberries and blueberries, but I end up getting kiwis and shit. And then like 3 weeks later, and hopefully this doesn't happen to your Falcons, 3 weeks later, the kiwis, you can't even eat them. I got 6 of them because I was hungry. And they're all like rotten in the fruit drawer in the bottom of the fridge. I'm just hoping that Atlanta didn't do that.
I'm with you.
You know?
I'm 100%
Because they
with you.
really dipped their balls into the defensive strategy of the draft.
They did.
Well, I'm just going off of ESPN's overall rankings, right? So Jalen Walker is number 4.
Yeah, he's
Right?
a dude.
And Pierce was number 16, and they got both of those guys in the first round.
And
Which is crazy.
yeah, they had him at 15.
It's
That's
going
where
to
the
be
Falcons
amazing,
won
I
it.
feel.
So I think it was our defensive line coach. It might have been our coordinator. I don't remember. I was reading the article, but he said after spending the rookie camps are going on right now. He's like, Jalen Walker is captain material. So he's in here early. He's getting everyone together. He's making sure everyone's doing the right thing. He just doesn't have the C on his chest yet. So I love him so far. Then James Pierce, hopefully he just falls right into that. You know, he flew in with Jalen Walker. He's been spending time with him. It seems like they're getting close. Hopefully that work ethic, rubs off on him.
And I'll tell you, I'm a Notre Dame fan. So you guys got Xavier Watts,
I
who
love that kid.
he's very talented. So he may fit right into your scheme really, really
Yeah, they're
well.
saying he could start week 1
Yeah.
next to Jesse
Yeah,
Bates.
I like Watts. I
He's a
mean,
ball hawk. I think he led college football in picks the last 2 years.
I have to read that. I just know that he's very talented because I watched the games.
I want to
So-
say it was 15 interceptions he had in the last couple of years. So I like him, and that's going to allow Jesse Bates to kind of run the defensive back end, and he has a ball hawk next to him that's going to maybe take some risks, but you got Jesse Bates to clean up the mess. So I think we're going to be great there.
Sounds like they're going to be fighting over it.
Yeah, over interception.
No, it's mine.
A lot of people are taking some shots at the Falcons just because they gave up so much draft capital. And I actually don't see it. So we gave our first next year for a first this year. Then we traded a second to make that trade happen, but we got a third back.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. So our only real loss is trading a second for a third. So I don't understand why that's looked at so negatively. And then I think it was Colin Cowherd or someone like that, not to name drop like I know him, but he was saying, that's going to be the 15th pick next year. So they traded the 15th pick for the 26th pick and gave up a second too. But how do you know? Maybe they go on a run and make the playoffs. Now it's a 20-something pick.
Yeah,
you know?
like
So
what if it's a 25th pick?
Yeah, now it's even. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense to crap on that to me.
From your lips to God's ears, you know.
And
They make the playoffs. Let's see what they do offensively. That's
Well,
going to be the most.
now that I brought that up, I want to get your thoughts on this, and I wish Matt was here because I talked to him about it a little bit over the phone to see his thoughts on it. People are just saying, "Oh, the Bucks run that division 4 years in a row now," and I agree. They won it 4 years in a row, but we had some terrible quarterback play in that 4-year run,
Oh, here we go.
so which led us to where we are now.
Future Ring of Honor.
Which led us to where we are now. And even with a quarterback who threw the most interceptions in a 6-week period or whatever it was, I think he led the NFL in total. Even with that happening, we could still have made the playoffs in the final week if we beat Carolina. And we're going to act like the Bucks just run it. Did they really get that much better and Atlanta didn't? So that's how I don't understand it. And I just want to see what your point of view on it is. Like, are the Bucks really? Because some people have the Bucks as number 7 in their power rankings, and the Falcons swept them last year.
No,
with the team we had last year.
I'm not saying that they're that strong. I'm just thinking that they, you know, in the past 4 years, record-wise, were able to put certain things together better than the Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're that much better. But I think for the past 4 years, record-wise, they were the better team. You know, just is what it is.
Well,
They won when they needed to.
Well, to touch on Tampa Bay, I mean, they did go out and get that Amika.
Yep.
So they
Good wide receiver.
Yep, they do have a quality wideout that they picked up, and then they picked up a couple cornerbacks with their second and third round picks. Morrison from Notre Dame and Parrish from Kansas State. So, I don't know. I think offensively, as far as the wideout, they got better. I'm not too sure. Watching Morrison play, like, he's good. I don't know if he's second round worthy, but you never know.
Yeah.
But Amika's going to help him offensively. But your defense, I think, got much better.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, you can't
good.
wait until you can't say for sure until kickoff.
I think we can say for sure they got better. Okay.
I think so.
Because I know you have to be excited about your quarterback and wideout and tight end combos. Hopefully, right? That all works out offensively for you. But now you've got guys to put pressure on the opposing quarterback.
And how many games would we have won last year if we could sack the quarterback?
Oh, it's going to be so fun to watch this year.
If we could have sacked Jaden Daniels one more time. They only beat us in overtime.
True.
Panthers only beat us in overtime. It's not like we were getting run out of the stadium against a team that everyone thinks is definitely on the upswing.
Were you at home last year against them?
Against Washington? I feel like it was in Washington, but I don't remember for sure. But still, it went. I don't know if you remember, but we drove down the field to score late to take it to overtime, and they ended up getting the ball first. So they ended up just driving down and scoring, and want to know why? Because we couldn't get after the quarterback. So we sack him one time in overtime even. Anyway, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying we went step for step with a team that everyone thinks is going to be really good, and we barely lost.
Yeah.
And now our defense is much better.
I think that's
Hopefully.
one of the things that drive me crazy is, when you watch a team that could do so amazing against a good team like that and where they're at in the season, and then find a way to lose sometimes against some of the other teams that just don't have it together. And I feel like that was that happened a little bit more with Atlanta last year.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, imagine saying that a team that got swept last year by another team and saying, oh, the team that got swept is better. It's wild.
Yeah. It's football for me was so wild last year. It's like, you'd had these teams that were like supposed to, you would think they would go in and just annihilate and be like, what the hell is going on right now? Like even for the Broncos, like some of the games that they would win and then who they would lose to
Yeah.
is like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
All right.
But you know, you never know. I hope some of these picks defensively for Atlanta, I think they're gonna they look so awesome, and it's gonna be really awesome to see. Now, you know, I think it really kind of turns to the offense because all these defensive picks, hopefully they work out for them. But when it comes to the offense, they have a really young, talented offense. What could they put together this year? It should be pretty exciting to watch. I think that's where it's gonna be fun, you know.
And before we throw it over to the 49ers, first time in NFL history that a team took 2 pass rushers in the first round. So
breaking records.
Yeah. They said they're definitely a case study. The only team to sign a $180 million quarterback and draft one. And now they're the only team to trade back into the first to take the position they already took. So definitely a case study in team building.
It's going to be interesting to see, right?
All right, Doug. So the 11th pick's coming around. What does Doug think the 49ers are definitely taking? What do you think they're taking? You know, in your head when the draft was live.
I'm hoping they're taking the best cornerback available or best safety available anyhow, like one of those 2 positions.
Wrong. Edge rusher Mykel Williams.
Yeah. Who listen, I like the talent.
Yeah, tough guy.
But I mean, although losing Greenlaw to
Broncos, losing Leonard Floyd to the Falcons.
Yeah, thank you.
Floyd's
thank
okay.
you.
Losing a safety to the Broncos. Go ahead.
Hey, you can't hate the fan. I mean, it's not like I'm the coach. You know when your favorite team loses and then your best friend gives you a call and he's like, hey, and you're like, listen, I don't make the decisions on the field.
I don't know if you got that glare I was giving you, but you know how like Superman has that like whatever that vision, like that
heat vision.
Heat vision. That's it. I was just
Yep.
There it is, baby. I was just giving it to you.
That gives me an idea for
You shoot laser beams from your nipples.
artwork for you.
Is that what you're saying?
Artwork, nice. I like it.
We'll cover that more at the end.
Okay, but so at first I was upset, right? But then everything you read or like because I really didn't follow Williams great, during this year at all. But I'm excited, right? Like, and let's face it, like the Niners seem to do a couple things really good. Somehow, they always seem to work out that they get a bazillion draft picks, and 2 or 3 of the guys always seem to work out really, really well, right? And here we are again with 11 draft picks. We had our first rounder. With the second rounder, we had 2 third rounders, 2 fourth rounders, 2 fifth rounders, and 3 seventh rounders. So, volume, right? You just got to hope that 2 or 3 of them stick. I think Williams is going to stick. I actually watch 2 different podcasts, 2 different things on the Niners, and the one was talking about how they were watching Williams this week, and he was like really aggressive on the field, but very like he would tackle a guy and then pick him, teammate pick him up, hit him on the head, like good job. So that all seemed very, very positive. And then we take a defensive tackle with Alfred Collins. And then we take another linebacker, and then we wait till the 36th pick to get a cornerback, which I don't. This frustrates me because we need someone to stop the other team because it might be my opinion, but I think that we get penalized more than anyone with DPI.
All right.
So why do you not try to get the best cornerback you possibly can? I would have given the farm to had the number 2 pick this year.
Sounds like they needed an earpiece with you in it.
I'm telling you.
Who knows better than the fans?
We have 11 picks. I would have said, okay, you can have our first round, you can have a third round, you can have a fifth round, and we'll give you our first round next year. I would have done everything I could to get him.
Travis?
Yep. I think he's going to be a stud, dude.
Yeah, I think where he went, they're going to use him on offense.
I think
more than
the
defense.
Niners would have used him both ways.
Yeah, I think he would have been primarily a cornerback and then sprinkled in on the offense. And I think that's actually the best way to play him. So I think he's a better corner than he is receiver.
I just, and Jordan Watkins from Ole Miss, I don't know about that pick either. Jordan James from Oregon. Don't know about that one. They did pick up another safety, and then they pick up Curtis Rourke from Indiana, quarterback. I don't know anything about him at all. I just
Well, you guys have
I understand it's a 7th round flyer. I get it.
you guys hit on those.
Yeah. Yeah, they could be the most amazing picks.
Listen, it's been a long time since Montana was taken in the 3rd round.
Well,
Well, where'd you get Brock Purdy?
yeah.
He's Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly. You guys hit on those late picks.
Yeah, what pick was he anyway?
The
Was he
final
like
pick of the draft.
Mr. Irrelevant,
Really?
the last
Yeah,
pick of the draft.
Donnie's not a draft
No,
consumer.
he's not. Yeah.
So the last person in the draft has a nickname every year called Mr. Irrelevant because he's the last pick in the draft.
Yeah, well, you guys know, because I've been talking about it, that I just popped my draft thing,
So Mr. Irrelevant this year, Donnie, is Kobe Minor. He was a cornerback out of Memphis.
Yeah, wait till you see that guy go. He's going to have like a pick 6 first game.
Tight end.
6, 7 interceptions by the 10th game. That's what I'm hoping for.
Probably not.
Yeah.
As a cornerback, that's what you want to see.
Yeah.
You want to see him just get rowdy back there and make teams second guess everything they do and then not have to throw to that side. And that's the right cornerback could do that for your team.
Absolutely. I don't know that the final pick in the draft is going to be that guy.
Hey,
that can absolutely happen.
You never know.
I mean, it happened for
That's
us.
what he's going to be for the 49ers.
Yeah. So, another surprise for me is Loveland going ahead of Tyler Warren.
Yeah, dude. Well, there's no way I take Loveland before Warren. And, maybe someone's going to figure something out that I don't know. But why do the Bears take Loveland at 10 and Warren is still there? And I'm not saying it because I'm a Notre Dame fan, but I'm not saying it because we're from Pennsylvania. But I gotta look it up here. Warren had to be position rank number 1 and overall rank number 6. He falls all the way to the Colts at 14.
And I mean, we haven't seen him play yet. Loveland is less a blocker, more a receiver. So maybe they wanted that tight end that's going to be flying around a little more, not worried about his blocking scheme. But Tyler Warren does it all. And I'm concerned that on the Colts, his talent isn't really going to be extracted the way it should be. He's doesn't really have the quarter. Right now, it's a quarterback competition between Anthony Richardson and Danny Dimes.
So Penn State tight end Tyler Warren draws comparisons to Travis Kelce.
I can see it.
When you get people writing articles like that comparing you to that person, how do you say, we'll take the next guy?
You don't sleep on that one.
And not just that, but he can also take snaps at quarterback. He can play some fullback. He can give you some tailback. He can split out in the slot. Well, Loveland can too, but
yeah. Well, I mean, Warren was once a 3-sport star, earning all-state honors in football, basketball, and baseball. So super athletic.
Yeah.
Right? Get the ball near him. He's probably going to gobble it up.
Yeah. And he's going to stiff arm a guy, and he's going to get some extra yards. He's
6'6".
I love him.
Yeah, 6'6", 260 pounds. What's not to like about a tight end? That's athletic at 6'6".
I don't get it. I would have taken him from the Bears. Plus, it gives you an absolutely a safety net for Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that one blew me away too. So
I want not to harp on the Browns. I know we kind of beat them up a little bit. So they take a quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, out of Oregon, and then a couple rounds later they take a quarterback. It doesn't make sense to me.
Did you say quarterback twice?
Yeah. So they go Dylan Gabriel, and then they wait a couple of rounds, and they go Shedeur Sanders. Why? So now their quarterback room is Deshaun Watson, who's Donnie's favorite player. They brought in Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Kenny Pickett, I believe it was. Right? Did he go to... They have another quarterback there. Then they drafted Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel.
And then they drafted Shedeur Sanders. Is there a more complex quarterback room in the NFL right now?
Listen, we've already talked about. We've talked about how many quarterbacks they have gone through, and now they're lining them up.
Now they're at 45 quarterbacks.
Hey, can we count the quarterback if they never actually throw?
Yeah, that was only 40 starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, so that's starting. If they have a quarterback and they never have the chance to actually throw.
Yeah, they're probably in the hundreds.
Can you count that, though? Would it be in the hundreds, do you think? So that's what I'm thinking.
So here's a little post-draft analysis that I was reading up here. It says Cleveland coach Kevin Stefanski had success coaching accurate quarterbacks such as Casey Keenum, Kirk Cousins in the past. So Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett fit in that mold. Gabriel also fits in that mold. And so does Shedeur Sanders and Will Howard.
So what, they have Will Howard also?
Yes.
Wow.
Really? I didn't think he went there. I thought he went somewhere else.
That's what it said.
He should have. I mean, I'm sorry.
I mean,
what are they gonna do?
I don't get that one at all.
So I thought Will Howard might have went somewhere like the Steelers.
I don't know. Just said it. I'm just reading what it says. So does Shedeur Sanders and Will Howard.
Yeah, he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Why would they say that there?
I don't know. But
that's what I thought. Maybe they just picked him up after the draft or something. I was like, what's going on?
That might be part of the problem.
And
is that they might have too much competition there. You know. How do you pick that? How do you?
So who do you get rid of? Right, you're not going to carry 5 quarterbacks.
You're not going to carry Flacco.
I think you do carry Flacco. So here's what
Flacco,
if I'm
47-year-old Flacco.
Well, I think you have to. He already knows the system. He played there and did well, 2 years ago? So a lot of people were saying he's having a late career resurgence, went to another team, maybe not so much, comes back. He knows Stefanski's system. He can be the guy that runs your camp, comes out, you don't play him in preseason. He starts the first few games. If he's doing bad, you throw in one of the younger guys.
Ooh,
I think
that's going to be so. I mean,
I think Kenny Pickett and one of the rookies go. I don't think he can carry 5. I think 2 guys got to go. Well, Deshaun Watson, you're not cutting him, right? Not this year.
I would almost think the fact that Flacco is there, that they would have somebody like Shedeur just learning and absorbing everything that they possibly can from someone like Flacco, who is a quarterback. I mean, he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
He should be a quarterback coach.
But I mean, there's a lot to learn there, and they have some talent there, right? So I think you go with Flacco, and you hope for the best. Hopefully he's healthy, and have some of these guys learn from him.
Flacco just got his AARP card.
Well, let's say you keep 4. Let's say you don't count Deshaun Watson because he's not.
We're all older than that guy, so.
So really, the competition is who's getting cut between Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur Sanders.
He might. I know that it seems crazy.
Could you imagine?
Oh my God!
Could you imagine the news? Oh. Cleveland Browns drop Shedeur Sanders.
I think he goes somewhere.
And he gets picked up by the 49ers.
Yeah. I actually like that. I like that.
And then he's got
his dad played there,
Purdy, right? Yeah.
His dad played there. Why wouldn't he go there?
Daddy likes the 49ers.
Yeah.
He's going to be sitting behind Purdy, watching his every move. Just in case something
and you're giving
happens.
us a look, but don't tell me you wouldn't be excited if it's like...
Tell me you wouldn't be excited.
Brock Purdy misses 3 weeks, Shedeur comes out.
Quarterback controversy.
And no
controversy. Purdy's a starter.
Purdy's the man.
Yeah. I don't think there is. Now, here's where the controversy does happen. Is Purdy goes down for 3 weeks and Shedeur throws, 6 touchdowns, 900 yards, not 900, 750
just lighting
yards.
Up. Yeah, I could see it.
Runs one in. So that's when there's a controversy, but tell me what
of course we're really stretching here.
Yeah, we're saying he's good.
A lot of things have to happen for you to get your Shedeur, but
let's get back on course because I don't need Shedeur.
Wow, sound like the owners now.
Yeah, right. That would complete his draft, though, right? We were just complaining about how the draft was.
Who in Cleveland is making these decisions? That's what I'd really like to know. Who is going, you know what? Let's pick up a 4th and a 5th quarterback.
It's crazy to me. And if you're going to take Dylan Gabriel, right? don't take Shador. Take
No,
something else.
no.
And if you're going to take Shador,
Don't take Dylan.
yeah, in the third or fourth round when they took him, take a lineman or something.
Third round.
Yeah.
They took him in the third round with
So you're
the.
taking-
Hold
Like,
on.
I'm only asking this because I don't know. Do you make that move to have those two guys, those two quarterbacks, so that way maybe you can make some moves during the season? Does that play in at all?
You're
Or
saying trades? I don't think you're trading either of those guys, so maybe you're trading
no, one of them.
Flacco or Pickett.
You know,
Maybe you're trading. I don't think you trade your rookie if you're keeping him on your roster.
not keeping both of them.
A former first round Pickett. Maybe you trade him for something else, but
I'm just saying, how do you keep both of them?
no one wants Flacco.
And it's not like the same situation. It's not the same situation as Atlanta where, yeah, they're kind of the same position, but they can be friends because they can both play. I never saw two rookie quarterbacks come in and just be friends. And
Have we talked about how many quarterbacks the Browns have had since '99?
47.
40 starting or something like that, right?
We're
40
going
starting.
to be halfway to 50 with this season. So what gets me is
We're not counting the ones
Cleveland
that
is
haven't
where
thrown the ball.
this is going to be the new thing. Cleveland is where quarterbacks go to die. Hello, Joe Flacco.
It's been.
It has to be.
Deshaun Watson just happened.
Listen, they could end up with 48 starting quarterbacks by the season end.
Yeah.
Yo, here's the
No
answer
matter
to your
how
question.
you massage the situation, it's bad.
Yeah. Speaking of massages, here's the answer to that question. Who is making the decisions over there?
Yeah,
The
who?
same
Who?
person who's made the decisions for the past 6 years.
Who made Deshaun Watson
It's time to change it up.
the highest paid, fully guaranteed quarterback, and now we have two rookies. I don't know, man.
And a former first round pick.
I would hate two former because Flacco.
Was he a first round pick?
Yeah,
Well, I didn't know that.
yeah. So Flacco.
I thought he was a third round pick.
I actually, not that you care about this about me, but I wanted the Falcons to draft Flacco over Matt Ryan, and we took Matt Ryan. I was kind of disappointed.
Matty Ice. Huh?
Yeah. I fell in love with Matty Ice, and I think he's the greatest Falcon ever. But
Greatest Falcon ever?
I think so. Who would you put above him? So
Dion?
Brett Favre, Doug was just talking.
Hey, imagine if if they wouldn't have traded him.
Yeah. But anyway, so as far as playing and having their full career, I think it's Matt Ryan.
Okay.
So
Back to the Browns. Imagine those four guys sitting in a room just like we are.
yeah.
I just imagine that they're sitting there looking at each other.
So let's
They're like,
let's pretend we're them. I'm like, yo, we just drafted Dylan Gabriel. Yes.
yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited.
Two rounds later. Sorry, like 2 rounds later.
Hey guys, what about getting Shador? He's still there.
What? I can't believe he's still available.
He is.
Put the card in.
No,
All right,
let's do it.
That's great.
No, I'm talking about
crazy.
the quarterbacks. Imagine the quarterbacks sitting in the room talking, to each other, and they're just like, who am I going to kill first? It was like, no, I mean, when you have that much competition,
Clue the board game.
does it honestly factor in, like, oh, man, he's going to accidentally fall down a flight of stairs. I almost said slide of fairs.
Oh, hold on, guys. Hold on.
Which actually makes sense in a really bad way.
No, hold on. What, D? What? Shador? Yeah, are you sure? We just took another cornerback. Okay, guys, D says that we need to take.
D's the owner.
Yeah, D Haslam is the owner.
He's
So
the man, pots and pans.
she is.
So tell me this.
Oh, she is?
Tell me this. Well,
Oh, yeah, D. You know what? She's she's picking by their uniforms.
Again.
It makes sense now.
me, the
That's how my wife picks.
It's Jimmy Haslam. I'm just making fun of
Oh, I got you.
his wife.
No.
I'm just saying.
She's making the picks.
So she really runs the show.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
he does. That's trying to be funny. I'm sorry.
It makes sense. They're probably going by the favorite college team uniform colors. Because my wife, when she's picking the games, she loves the Miami Dolphins. She's just a fan of their uniforms.
and
makes sense.
She always goes Miami.
Yeah, it was. I mean, she doesn't do good. But that's how she picks them.
But
But obviously, D's not doing very well.
and again,
Got all these quarterbacks sitting in the room. getting ready to run each other over in the parking lot just so that way they could be the starting quarterback this year.
So the Haslam family, they got their money through Flying J, the truck stops,
All right.
Pilot Corporation. Anyhow, maybe they should just stick to gas and not quarterbacks.
That's true.
I don't get it.
But
Anyhow,
I always say I'm not the conspiracy guy, but I always throw the conspiracies out. That's
You do.
You know what? I am
Good
the
at it.
conspiracy guy. Do you think there's any? I don't know the word for it. Not correspondence. Anyway, all the owners got together, and they said, "Who plans on drafting Shador?"
you have like two teams raise their hand.
You're like, wait till the 5th round. After the 5th round, pretend it's the first. You guys could trade, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But we're not drafting him in the first 4.
If you want the refs to be on your side and be fair,
Maybe.
I didn't know that factored in.
Yeah,
I had
it's-
no idea.
Teach him a lesson, not to come in here with the big ego and, act like he wants to be here. So once we hit the 5th round, all bars are off. You can do whatever you want to get him. But until then, no one's drafting him.
I didn't know there were politics in football like that.
And I'm not
What?
saying there is.
Yeah.
What?
I'm not
Yeah.
saying there is.
What are you talking about?
Oh, we're going to wait until the 5th round on purpose.
What else would be the reason?
So, I don't understand, really. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe it was the interviews. Maybe when you're interviewing for teams,
And again, I hate that because we're willing to draft people who beat up women, but we're not willing to draft somebody who's cocky in their interview.
Listen. The NFL does not have any type of power like that. I mean, just ask Colin Kaepernick.
Kaepernick.
That's potentially also true.
Yeah.
However, also maybe you don't want that circus.
How you handle
If I
yourself
own a
means
team-
something,
It's not 1 out of 32. Not 1 out of 32
Not
wants that
one.
talented
The Browns,
quarterback.
who have terrible quarterback play.
They
don't
didn't even take over.
Yeah. Well, so here is something that he did that I understand. Atlanta set up a private workout with him. Had some other people come in to catch a ball from him. That morning, he's like, I'm not going there. I'm going to my high school. So, you're giving him an opportunity, and he still has to be an asshole about that. So it's
I didn't know that.
yeah. So it's like, do we really want this guy here who we're providing an opportunity to? And he says, no, I'm changing it. Fly out
So-
here instead.
So you get a shot 3-4 years after you're out of the league,
Yeah.
trying to get back in.
Yeah, Atlanta gave him an opportunity.
And, he was like, I'm not coming.
yeah, he's like, I'll be at my high school. Fly out here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So I kind of get it in a way, and maybe he's going there and being cocky, but is that really a reason not to take a quarterback? And you're going to take Tyler Shuck as the Saints. I've always hated the Saints, but man, do I hope he crashes and burns now. So you're going to take a 29-year-old quarterback in the, 2nd round? I think they took him over Shador Sanders. So, anyway, I think we beat up the Browns.
Here's the thing. Maybe Shador just comes out swinging, man. Maybe he comes out swinging. He proves everybody wrong. I mean, that's where are you on that? Would you like him to just come out and just be like the quarterback that should have been taken right off the bat? Is
Yeah.
that what you want to see?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
I want him to turn the Browns around.
Can you imagine?
Well,
he'd be the guy to turn him around
And then he goes, remember how you
and
guys
actually stay there for 4 years in a row and just
remember how you guys drafted me in the 5th round? And that was great value for you guys, right? $300 million guaranteed. If not,
Yeah.
I'll go somewhere else. I won you guys a Super Bowl.
yeah, I'll go to the Giants.
well, speaking, I had them up. Speaking of the Giants, I wanted to just touch on them because I thought they had a pretty good draft situation for the draft. So I don't know if you know this, Donnie, on ESPN, they have the player and they have Matt Miller's pro comp. So they get Abdul Carter, who I think is the best
Yeah, he's a stud.
Pick that they
right.
had.
He's going to be a future stud in the NFL,
Yeah.
right? Barring an injury,
I think so.
future
He's kind
stud.
of an asshole, though.
So do they
Future stud, right?
do they
So-
take those picks and they prioritize their picks to say, hey, this is their stud out of the draft? Is that the way they're doing it on ESPN?
Well, they'll have the position rank and overall rank and the grade and stuff like that for each player.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyhow, they compare him to Michael Parsons, who we all know is one of the best in the league, right? So they get Abdul Carter, and then what do they do at the end of the first round?
At the end?
Yeah. They
trade in.
Yeah.
They trade in.
Yep.
And they take Jackson Dart.
Correct. Jackson Dart, right? From Ole Miss, who was the number 3 ranked quarterback in that position, right?
Yep.
What do they say their pro comp? What were they comparing him to? Who's that?
That's the guy with the glasses. Bo Nix.
Yes,
Imagine.
they're comparing him to Bo Nix, which I thought was pretty cool, right?
I mean, I feel like we all thought
I
that
don't think so.
we thought we thought Sanders was going to go before him. I guess that was the feel.
We can't talk about it.
But I don't know. I'm really excited for Dart. I see. That's the thing, is that when people think that he shouldn't be taken so early, right? And then they do. I just really hope that they
I mean, well, listen, Dart was
do awesome.
Dart's a quality quarterback, right? So, but they get Dart, they get help in the defense, right? And then they get a defensive tackle, and then they get Scatterbo, who I like.
I like him a lot.
So,
Yeah.
I think they're really. I thought they had a decent draft. I really, really did. Right? They only had
that play style that Peyton Hillis had for the Browns for a couple of years there, where he's just pinballing through the hole and bulldozing guys. I like him a lot. But back to Jackson Dart. We're not technologically sound yet in our podcast, but I want to play a little clip for you. So I'm going to do it the best way that I can, having not prepared it yet, of John Gruden interviewing Jackson Dart about his snap count.
I saw this.
Because I see at USC, I see this guy. Yeah. Go ahead. You ready? Yeah. No, I want to hear the snap count. Yeah. Really? Every time? Every time. Do you have like a dummy clap or anything? Yeah, we call it purple. What's that? No shit. Yeah. For 3 years, you've been clapping.
That's kind of scary, right? In a way.
He never had a snap count. He never got under and went, blue, 72, blue.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Hot. He never.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't the fake one be the one clap?
So if you've never had a snap count, he's obviously had a clap count.
Yeah.
So if you've never had a snap count, you go to a team where that's all they, you got to call
now
out.
He's got to get under center.
Yeah, that's every team.
So,
yeah, because listen, when you're up against the center's balls, you can't be clapping. Let's just be honest, right, Doug? I mean, I've never played that position.
But you're not clapping.
You're not clapping under there.
So not only again, he comes from a school that's all about pre-snap wins. So he's coming out. The coach is assigning, calling the play probably from picture cards on the sideline. So he's looking over. He's making sure everyone's lined up correctly. And then now he has to get under center, make pre-snap reads, try to, audible into something, create a whole new snap count that he's never done before.
Can't wait to watch it. I can't wait.
Then he's going to be under center.
Yo, whatever happened to Blue 42?
Yeah.
In the commercial, where the guy drops his keys.
Omaha. Imagine Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Yeah, we wouldn't have the Omaha.
So
with the clapper.
I love his reaction at the end. So you've been clapping for 3 years. No shit.
Oh, that's great. Didn't even know that was a thing, honestly.
Yeah. And I wanted to bring this up earlier when you guys were talking tight ends, but I didn't get to. For those of you who might not know, we're from a super small area in a super small county, not a high population. But one of our players is now a member of the Minnesota Vikings as a tight end. So Gavin Bartholomew. So,
Really?
Yeah. They drafted him. So he's a member of the Minnesota Vikings now.
That's awesome.
So
way to go, brother.
I'm going to be kind of a Vikings fan now.
Well,
So-
Oh, absolutely.
at least for
Well,
him, right?
root
You're
for
right.
him,
Root for
yeah.
him for sure.
Man, he
Yeah.
puts up like an 800-yard season, 5 touchdowns. I'm gonna be going nuts.
Oh,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we could get some
I wa-
tickies.
I want to look that. Gotta look that up. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That
So
Bartholomew, right?
Gavin.
is- yeah.
So he's it's gonna be fun for me to watch.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard something that he could be drafted and then was. Right? What round did he go in?
I don't remember. It was end of the draft.
Yeah, right at the end.
It wasn't
Yeah.
super early or anything, but maybe get some playtime.
Oh, I hope so.
So he went to Pitt.
Yeah.
Then he ended up getting drafted. So
I wake up and I don't stretch, and I'm an old man. So, like, if I lean too far to one side, there could be
put
problems.
you down for a couple of days.
Yeah, it might. Hopefully not, but it might be a chiropractor. And that's never good. Sometimes just a little tweak, and I'm bad for 5 minutes. But I feel like I almost need a chiropractor,
Yeah.
and it's just the way that I freaking woke up this morning, late. So.
Anyway.
Hey, so let's talk about the Broncos
All
for
right.
once.
All right. We did, but go ahead.
No, not like you talk about your Falcons though.
I know.
Like we get lost in the woods over there. The thing, doesn't he, Doug? And Doug doesn't want to talk about his 49ers, so he's cool.
Well, they're going to win a couple of games.
He's
and
going to
then,
be mad until like
he'll have
the
his nine-
third week.
he'll have
where
his
he's
Joe
like,
Montana.
yeah, it's really starting to come together now, guys. They're
He'll have
really
his-
starting to.
Joe
but-
Montana one-piece underwear on.
I mean, I love the cornerback that we got, right? Like I love Barron, but how do we not get a running back in the first round?
We talked
Like I
about
keep
this.
thinking about it, and I'm not like it.
Deja vu.
We're just thinking about how baffling it is that teams, like you were saying about the 49ers, how do we go with that guy when we need one thing that we've been talking about? It's an obvious problem all year long that 3 guys were trying to get some yards and it wasn't working. We needed a running back all year last year. It's the number one thing that we need. How do we not get one in the first round? I'll never know.
He liked R.J. Harvey.
And the only way this makes sense now is that Jahdae Barron just, he goes crazy. He gets a pick sixer in the first game. He's, picking everybody off. He's running around. He's getting rowdy. He's spanking everybody on the ass. That's what kind of player he must be.
What happens? You
To
guys
take-
can't get a run game established, and this kid only has 2 picks, gives up a couple of touchdowns.
That's what I'm hoping doesn't happen.
Is it a failure then?
No. I mean, not right away. Not right away. It's like I'm hoping towards the middle of the season that at least by the middle of the season that defensively Barron is just going crazy
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's the whole
to make
season.
up for it.
The whole season that R.J. Harvey has like 700 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jahdae Barron has 2 interceptions and gives up a couple touchdowns.
Listen, I don't even care if Harvey. I don't know if they're just going to use him as a running back. Like I'm hoping. I mean, just running the ball. Because that some running backs are a threat for these screen passes and little. So he might be just a big threat to be anything out of the backfield, and I'm okay with that. Then I don't care if we rush for 50 yards a game if he's also, getting these little dunk and dink passes.
He's going to catch passes, Donnie. He's got decent hands.
I know he's handsy, and that's what I love. And I don't necessarily care that we have that rusher that gets 100 yards every single game. It would be nice because it's been a long time. It's been really long. It's like when you're married for 25 years, right, Doug? And you just don't get certain things you want. But if he could split it up and run really well, and also also get his hands involved, then I'm 100% on board. But I just don't understand how we don't get Amari in the first round when he's there.
Listen,
All of
I was
us were
like
like,
this.
how is he still available?
I was like this with Malachi Starks for a few days. Apparently Donnie's still going through it, but I was like this for a few days. I was crying in the shower. I was sitting in my room. Yeah, sitting in my room in the dark.
Yeah, and you just don't make the
Telling my
decision,
wife,
do
like,
you?
nah, I have a headache tonight. I can't, stuff like that.
You would never
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah. No, he did. He
Yeah,
did.
like-
He was in a bad way,
No, he
Doug.
wouldn't.
And,
He was in a
I started
bad
watching
way.
some footage. Maybe that's what you need to do. Dive into R.J. Harvey. Go watch his college highlights. Go watch some footage from him.
I think I didn't.
Yeah, do it.
I didn't.
Maybe
That's
that'll
what I
bring
didn't
you around.
do.
Maybe
What
that'll
I
bring
did
you
do was I watched stuff on Omari, and it keeps coming up because I think he was. Yeah, like, and it reminds me of Terrell Davis. I think that's what happens. Is like he reminds me of that chunky, tanky guy that makes one move and runs people over. He's tractor guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha. I'm telling you, go watch some R.J. Harvey. I think you'll come out of your
I wonder
depression.
if can they trade for him? Do you think? I'm just saying. Do you think
They
they
can.
could?
Yeah, they can.
I just. Well, let's talk about Doug's 49ers.
No, we're not talking about 49ers. No, we did talk about
I can't
Henry.
believe. No, I think RJ is going to be. I think he's going to work out. But I mean, my fingers are crossed, my toes are crossed. Everything, things that you can't cross
Yeah.
on my body are crossed for this guy.
Well, I was surprised about something in the second round. Something
All right.
together, all together different.
Not
ones.
Harvey.
No.
All right.
So the Cowboys with the 44th pick take Donovan Ezrakai
All right.
as an edge rusher for
Yep.
Boston College. The Colts then with the next pick take JT Tumalulu
All right.
out of Ohio State.
Doug's
That's it.
always very good at saying last
Yep,
names.
terrible.
Yeah, he's the best.
Right? And then we drop down all the way to pick number 51, and the Panthers take Nick Scorton from Texas A&M, another edge rusher. And I'm blown away. I'm seeing all this go down when we were watching the draft. And then with the 52nd pick, the Titans take, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it,
I want you to.
Oladijo,
Oladijo.
right, from UCLA. Mike Green falls all the way to the 59th pick for the Ravens.
To the Ravens.
For
Yeah.
the Ravens.
And what's the rank on him? Somewhere in the first round.
Dude,
Yeah.
it was stupid.
Hi.
5th overall. Fifth in the position and 20th overall. How does that happen?
It happens because of off the field issues.
I get it. But
Is that what it was?
yes.
yeah,
yes.
some violent.
Yeah. It was nothing. In my opinion, from what I read, it wasn't as bad as some people are putting it out. Right. I think it's one of those things that he screwed up. Knows he screwed up, right? But like, it's not like I don't want to like.
Well, you're always taking a chance.
You're on
you know?
camera beating someone in an elevator, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. It was nothing like that. So
But there are no cameras. Is that what you're saying?
I just don't, a guy who's again number 5 in the position rank, and a guy 10th goes before him.
Yeah.
A guy 11th goes before him. A guy 9th and a guy 7th all go before him.
And then he goes to the Ravens, who
Ravens.
hell of a locker room to turn a guy around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You have.
Yeah, they might be the type of team. What is he, an edge rusher?
Yeah.
I mean, they got the type of defense that could just like mold him.
And he's that
The right
alpha
way.
edge rusher
know.
too. That he wants to be the guy. He's gonna be the guy.
He led the FBS in sacks with 17 and 24. 17 sacks.
Yeah, he's a dude.
Like, I get it, but I think there's enough talent there to say, I'm not going to take the 10th overall position guy. I'm going to take the number 5.
Yeah, but can you put him on the Panthers? Imagine him in that locker room. If he is a problem, I'm not saying that he is, but let's say he has issues.
Let's say he's still
afterwards.
working through some things.
Yeah,
Is that the type of
the Panthers locker room with a terrible owner who spits on his fans.
Oh, okay. Maybe the Panthers was a bad one. Listen, maybe that was bad. How about the Titans?
Again, not a great.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a great locker room.
He needs somebody tough.
So
Oh my God.
Like, I think you got to take that in consideration. Like, if you put someone in the 49ers locker room, I think that's a great locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Falcons are quite there yet, and I don't think we're ever going to take a player that
That's some
has that
strong
kind of stuff.
coaching. Well coached, beefy players.
Steelers can take a guy like that. There are some teams who can take guys like that, but those teams are not it.
I don't know. I just it's a lot of talent.
I agree, but you guys go to the right spot.
I mean, he could have gone to the Colts.
Not a great locker room still.
Really?
Okay. I don't think so.
You ever wonder?
How about the Cowboys?
Yeah. I can see him playing for the Cowboys.
Is that a good locker room for him, though?
Sure.
The Cowboys. It seems like they're...
Micah Parsons is there, the best. You could say the best.
Yeah, and then
you see those arguments on the sidelines.
It says, "Hey, man, you want to be here?
Yeah, we can be great.
We could be amazing, right? You got to get your head on straight. You need a problem? Here's my cell phone. You call me, right? You get frustrated with something? Here's my cell phone. You call me."
Well, the thing is, everyone in the Ravens
That's what you say to me
like that.
I know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, you keep me on the straight and narrow. That's why I'm so good. How about you, Adam? See, that's the difference between... That's the difference between you guys, is that Doug is strict with me, and he keeps me on the straight and narrow. And when it comes to Adam, it's just like...
Yeah, he's like, well, he's in trouble again.
Look at him.
I mean...
Like, Doug, he won't bail you out. He'll yell at you on the phone through the other side of the glass. This is why you're here.
And don't call this late.
Not you. You'll bail me out right away. Yeah. And you'll be like, he's going to do it again. He's going to... That's what we're talking about. The team dynamic with some of these players when they beat the shit out of people in elevators. Not to say they did, but I'm just saying, you go off the handle. You need somebody like Doug on the phone pointing through the glass. That's all I have to say about that.
Is that all you have to say about that? Okay, Forrest Gump. This is how I keep Adam straight.
How come you poked it 6 times and still didn't go full screen?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a video. Yo, the video says what the picture doesn't say.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so anyone have any last minute things they want to bring? Or anything about RJ Harvey?
Nope.
No.
I'm thinking
some exciting news coming up for the podcast team. Some new artwork, new theme coming out.
I'm excited.
Me too. We're working hard on it.
We got some music that we're going to be adding into our show. Doug's giving us a little hint on what it could potentially be about. So
good, Doug.
Up for this coming season, we're going to have some exciting stuff to roll out. So hopefully you enjoy it. We always desire feedback. Donnie reads every single comment, no matter how hurtful it is.
Everyone.
Yep.
He reads every comment. So if you want to hurt someone's feelings, include his name at, Donnie. And
one of the first things I always tell everybody is, before you write us your letters, just know that we have feelings.
It's deep.
Yeah. Because it's the internet.
Anyway, Donnie, take us out.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.